heaven is a place where...
You are listening to John Henry Media Network in the United States of America. Our podcasts get active participation for the following top countries: the United States, United Kingdom, Germany, South Africa, Canada, Israel, Brazil, Bahamas, Kuwait and Saudi Arabia. Don't forget to follow us, share us, leave a comment and download episodes. Remember, this is the right place to hear very powerful messages and music for Black America. Because we know that your message might awaken yet another sleeping giant. So, contact us today at jahu.enterprises@yahoo.com. I say again, that's jahu.enterprises@yahoo.com, and get your music, message or information heard by millions for a generous donation today. You are listening to John Henry Media Network, and we know that truth is the new hate speech. I can hear my neighbor crying. I can't breathe. Now, I'm in the struggle. And I can't leave. Calling out the violence of the racist police. We ain't gonna stop till my people are free. We ain't gonna stop till my people are free.
Get your message or business promoted on John Henry Media Network. Make contact today. Use this email address, jahu.enterprises@yahoo.com. That's jahu.enterprises@yahoo.com. Again, that's jahu.enterprises@yahoo.com. For specific details on submitting your audio to make it happen, it will be aired on our very next episode for a small donation of your choice. So let's make it happen right now.
30 for 30 shorts, artfully crafted by Blue Moon.
Boxing's Muhammad Ali.
9 years after Muhammad Ali's last fight, he still drew thunderous applause.
Ladies and gentlemen, the greatest.
I don't know why, but they always save me for last.
But in a matter of weeks, the 48-year-old boxing legend would be pulled onto center stage of a crisis unfolding in a war zone.
God bless all of you. Thank you very much.
It was very nice. There's a lot of history in Iraq. There was a place where the Euphrates and the Tigris River comes together, and they say that was the Garden of Eden.
Well, General Motors had an office over there. It was a fairly safe environment. I didn't feel threatened whatsoever.
We found the Iraqi people very friendly. They were very good people, but deathly afraid of Saddam Hussein and his regime.
Saddam Hussein ruled his people ruthlessly and menaced other nations with a fearsome military. On August 2nd, 1990, he sent his troops across the border into tiny, oil-rich Kuwait.
The dictator of Iraq invaded a small and helpless neighbor.
My husband was in the hotel. He called and he said, I don't know what's going on. There are a lot of tanks down there on the street and there's a lot of commotion and chaos.
Harry Brill Edwards, an aviation executive from New Jersey, was in Kuwait on an overnight business trip. His timing proved disastrous. Brill Edwards was seized and roughed up by Iraqi troops. He'd be among thousands of foreign nationals brought to Iraq as prisoners.
This general came in and he informed us that we would be dealing with the military, but not to fear, we were guests of Saddam. Things kind of deteriorated from there.
3 guys came by the office and told me that they were going to issue an exit visa in my passport so that I could leave the country. Once we got in the car, they told me just point blank that they lied to me, that I was going to be a guest of the government. I was going to be a hostage.
When the time went on, especially after a month, 6 weeks, I realized, is he coming back? That is nerve-wracking. You know, he can't eat, he can't sleep.
2 months into the crisis, she got unsettling news from the State Department. Saddam was using her husband as a human shield. Bill Edwards was one of hundreds of hostages held at strategic posts to deter U.S.-led military strikes.
It was clear to us that once the war started, that the oil refineries were probably going to be hit first. They had Iraqi guards there 24/7. One bomb hitting that gas refinery and the whole place would go up.
And so we were just bargaining chips.
The United States has no quarrel with the Iraqi people. Our quarrel is with Iraq's dictator and with his aggression.
For the first 2 months of captivity, Anderson was relatively lucky. He was with his wife, Genola. But in October, Saddam released the women and children.
Just all of a sudden, out of the blue, they said the women and children are going. If we can go, why can't Bobby and them go too?
To see her drive away was pretty sad. I kind of thought I'd never see her again.
It is so decided.
The UN resolution demanded that Saddam pull his troops out of Kuwait by January 15th or face grave consequences.
We did know that the coalition was being formed. We knew something was going to happen, and it didn't look good. Once any sort of invasion started, I was afraid they would kill us, the Iraqis.
That left the fate of 15 of Saddam's last human shields in the hands of an unlikely diplomat.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Muhammad Ali has just refused to be inducted into the United States Armed Forces.
In 1967, he'd risked his boxing career and prison when he refused to enlist on religious grounds during the Vietnam War.
And I'd like to say to those critics of the press and to the others that there is one hell of a lot of difference in fighting in the ring and going to war in Vietnam.
23 years later, the 3-time world champ would take another bold stand. He went to Iraq at the invitation of a peace organization led by Ramsey Clark, the former U.S. Attorney General. The group hoped Ali's global popularity and enormous prestige in the Muslim world might prevent a war. Ali wanted to help the peace process, but his immediate aim was to bring U.S. hostages back home. Assisting Ali was a liaison from the U.S. Embassy, Vernon Norred.
He was a hero of mine. It was well announced to the Iraqis that Muhammad Ali, world champion, world-renowned hero, is now in Baghdad.
Ali was then in the 6th year of his battle with the neurological disorder Parkinson's. Still, he kept a grueling schedule while waiting for Saddam to approve a meeting. He mingled with the people of Baghdad, visited schools, and prayed in historic mosques.
Ali had a special magnetism. The Iraqis would ask him for autographs, want to stand and talk to him. Ali never, ever turned anybody down.
And he granted every meeting requested by Iraqi officials.
We hope and pray that it's not a war, but the little thought and for the fame that I have showing the real side of the man.
After a week, with no word from Saddam, Ali had a crisis of his own. He'd run out of his Parkinson's medication and could barely function.
He would be in bed, he couldn't get out of bed, he couldn't stand up, and he couldn't talk because his voice wouldn't go above a whisper.
We were very glad that you came out to see Muhammad Ali. I think that asking him any questions would be out of the question because he can't answer any questions right now.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
NORAD found doctors at the Irish hospital in Baghdad to replenish Ali's medication. Their only request? A group photo.
Over here. Judge, come on.
Ali was back on his feet just in time.
The next day, he was brought aware that he was going to be given an audience and to prepare himself to come to the embassy to see Saddam.
The Bush White House disapproved of Ali's trip, fearing Saddam would use it as a propaganda tool. The images of Ali and the dictator led to a more cynical reaction from some in the media. They questioned Ali's motives, implying he'd taken the meeting to boost his own profile.
The accusation did not ring true. He wanted to get everybody that was left there, Americans, released. What did he have to gain? You know, he had everything to lose.
If he failed to secure any concessions from Hussein, his reputation would take a beating. Ali had to persuade a man who was openly defying the UN and President Bush to release hostages to him. He'd also have to listen, diplomatically, as Saddam praised himself for his treatment of the hostages.
Some of them wanted a certain list of video films, and we succeeded in providing all those films. Not all Iraqi homes have video recordings. Isn't this hospitality?
Ali assured Hussein he'd bring back to the U.S. an honest account of his visit to Iraq.
I'm not going to let Hajj Muhammad Ali go back to the United States without having a number of the American citizens here accompanying him.
After Saddam agreed to release 15 human shields, Ali and his staff prepared to take them out of Iraq as soon as possible.
It'd be nice to have the detainees come over this evening.
I don't mean that. I don't mean that. I don't mean that.
He's our guy.
You know, I thanked him, and he said, go home, be with my family. You know, I spoke to him very briefly, but what a great guy.
Champ, all I can say is that there is no way in the world that I can adequately thank you.
Thank God. God works through people. It's not me.
Well, I know, but it's, you literally saved my life.
Everybody say Ali, Ali, Ali.
Free, thumbs up.
Free man. Free man right now. Yes, sir. Let's make room. Please. Make room, please. Make room, please.
On December 2nd, 1990, after 4 months of captivity, the hostages were free.
I was just lucky for some reason to be on Muhammad Ali's list. I'm grateful for it.
He's a marvelous individual, marvelous man.
We waited at JFK to see if he really came. You know, you just really believed at the last minute when you stepped off the plane. Muhammad Ali came out first, and then the hostages came out. It was a great moment.
Always good to be home. Unless Muhammad Ali came to Iraq and negotiated with Saddam Hussein, I wouldn't be out of there, I guarantee you.
I gave Muhammad Ali a kiss and said, thanks for bringing my dad home. And I didn't really know what else to say other than that. I mean, it was really overwhelming.
Ali had reunited 15 families in time to celebrate the holidays.